It's fairly late, but hi there. It is 1:45. Time to show up. Long past time to show up. I've showed up twice previously. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And let's shit in the box. This is the third video I'm doing tonight because it is Tisha B'Av. If you're not familiar with the Jewish calendar and with the Jewish holidays, the 9th of Av is when we Jews, I'm Jewish, sorry if that means you're unsubscribing, we reflect on all of the terrible things that have been done to the Jews over the course of history. And it's fucking impossible to do that in this day and age without reflecting on the genocide in Gaza. It's impossible for me to speak candidly about that, for me to speak freely, to speak honestly about my feelings around that without taking very large risks, not just in terms of my online reputation, which, fuck it, but also in terms of the whole goddamn channel. Like, I feel like the world has gone insane. I feel like more and more of our existence as human beings has moved online, and more of that online existence is just disconnected from reality, and everybody's trying to manufacture their own world to live in. And on YouTube, you've got Alphabet and Google trying to manufacture the world that they want. And on Facebook and Instagram, you've got Meta trying to manufacture the world that they want. And increasingly, Microsoft is trying to manufacture the world that they want. Sony's trying to manufacture their world. And Epic is trying to manufacture their world. And all of these techno-oligarch child kings are trying to manufacture a reality that isn't real. There are realities about the conflict between Israel and Palestine, and those realities are immutable. They don't change. It doesn't matter what you wish they were and what you want them to be and what you could speculate. Oh, but they could. Oh, but they might. Oh, but someday. You could say that all fucking day long, and it still is what it is. And it's going to be what it's going to be. And what's going to happen is going to happen whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you think the world should be that way or not. Reality matters, and we live in a world that is increasingly built on bullshit. Not on truth, as it should be. Everybody says whatever they have to say to get what they want. And they won't speak truth to power. They won't speak truth to anyone. Because the truth is unpopular. It's not even that it's inconvenient. It's that it's unpopular. It's that people don't like it. Nobody likes to hear that sometimes I can't even cloak it. I can't even cloak the reality in theoretical language that has a chance in hell of protecting this channel from the political opinions of the people in charge. And I don't even know what side they're on. Because both sides of this fucking bullshit conflict are lying. They are completely and totally full of shit. And they have been for a very, very long time. And I look back on it because it is Tisha B'Av, and you look back and you go, oh, the terrible things that have been done to the Jewish people. Like all of the things that Gaza and the West Bank have done to Israel. And you look at them and you go, did they? Did they do those things? Were those things even real? Because I know for a fact, I've watched Gaza and the West Bank, I've watched the Palestinian activists there lie and manufacture evidence that isn't real and engage in theater for political purposes. And a few years ago, I caught Israel doing that. And I was like, oh, fuck, now we're starting to do it. And now I look back over 10, 15, 20 years and I go, no, they started doing it a lot earlier. They leveraged that trust where they hadn't been doing it to make you believe that they still weren't doing it. And they made more and more outrageous claims that just in retrospect could not possibly have been accurate. And you realize that someone told you the truth for decades and then went, wait, why am I telling them the truth? I can just lie. And when they switched gears and started lying, they'd never lied to you before, so why would they lie now? The world is so thoroughly and completely fucked up right now. And tonight's the night that I think about how thoroughly fucked up the world is. I don't typically celebrate Jewish holidays the way that other Jews do. I am a Karaite Jew in spirit. We do what the Torah tells us to do. Torah doesn't have anything about Tisha B'Av in it. And the reason it doesn't have anything about Tisha B'Av in it is because not all that much had happened to the Jews when we wrote it. Just like Yom HaShoah, there's a day of Holocaust remembrance. And there was a point in Jewish history where the rabbis said, we are all going to remember the Holocaust on this day. And I just went, that's what Tisha B'Av is for. And Tisha B'Av isn't actually in the scriptures, but, you know, I understand the need to spiritually connect with your people and to engage in community and to engage in society, but we very much already have a day that we remember all the things And my understanding of it is we made this one day to remember all the things, so we would absolutely not make day after day after day after day for this thing and that thing and the other thing and so on and so forth. We made Tisha B'Av the one day to think about the things, because one day is all you give it. The rest of the year is not for thinking about how you've been wronged and how you've been mistreated and how it's unfair. It's for doing productive things. And we need this day. We need this day. It's one of the reasons we have Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the day that we look back and we repent and we think about all the things that we personally did. And I think the rabbinate had a point when they said we should have a day that we remember all of the nasty shit everybody else did to us too. I get that. I understand that, because there's a lot of shit that happens to the Jews that isn't our fault, you know? And Yom Kippur is for us to think about, how did we fuck up over the last year? How could we have done better? There are ways we could have been better people, ways we could have been better Jews, ways we could have been a better participant in world society. But Tisha B'Av is for realizing that sometimes people fuck with you because they suck. And that people who suck have fucked with you. And yeah, I remember those people fucked with me. I remember the time those people fucked with me. And at sundown tomorrow, you go, that's it. Move on. I've thought about these fucking people all day, and I'm not going to think about them for the rest of the year. That's what that's for. That's why we do that. That's why we do this. To get it out of our system all at once. I don't usually talk much about being Jewish. And the reason I don't talk much about being Jewish is that most people don't care. It's valid. I don't fucking care what your religion is. I do care who you are as a person. I do. If you want to tell me that that as a Muslim or as a Sikh or as a Christian or a Catholic, Christians and Catholics are different. But I do understand if you want to tell me as one of those religions what your holiday means to you personally. I care about that. I care about my people have this holiday, and this holiday means a thing to us. And it also means a thing to me personally. I think that matters. I've had people get very surprised, generally young people. I've had young people be very surprised that I know there is such a thing as Islamic banking. They're like, you know about that? Yes, I know about that. You have laws about how you treat people in financial dealings. Jews also have laws about how we treat people in financial dealings. We just don't try to push them into the banks. We don't think the banks need to follow our laws. We follow our laws. The banks don't. But aren't the banks run by Jews? No, the banks are run by anybody. The policies of banks are set by the banks. And there are Jews who follow Jewish laws and practices with their banking when other Jews are banking with them. I don't like that much. I don't like the Jewish practices of banking because we have this practice where we go, number one, you should never charge interest to a Jew. Number two, you must charge interest to a non-Jew. That's bullshit. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. And in its historical context, I guess it makes sense, but in a modern context, no. Not so much. I don't like that. I'm glad that's not the policy. I don't like that policy. The thing that I wish everybody understood was that a religion is a very personal thing. A religion is founded on a fundamental concept, and that concept is that you believe certain things are true. And there's a list. For every religion, there's a list. Doesn't matter what your religion is. It's just like you pick any religion. There's a list of things that you believe are true. Even if you're an atheist, there's a list of things you believe are true. And like on the top of it is, there is no God. That's an article of faith. No, it's not. It's not an article of faith because you can't prove that there is a God. You can't prove that there's not. Belief in God is a perfectly symmetrical concept because there is no good reason to believe there is a God. There just isn't. You know, and as someone who is religious and who does believe there is a God, somebody who does like very seriously believe this and read the fucking scripture in Hebrew and very clearly believe that, yes, the scripture is like speaking the truth here. There's no good reason to believe that. It's just arbitrary. You read it and you go, yeah, I'll believe that. There's no good reason to believe it. There's also no good reason not to. There's no good reason to believe that you're definitely right about this thing that nobody fucking knows. I've chosen what I believe. And if you give me a good reason not to believe it anymore, I will probably stop believing it. Probably. It'd have to be a very good reason. Especially because your average atheist cannot define God. I don't have to. You see this thing that happened? I say somebody did that. And whoever did that, that's God. Whoa. What if nobody did that? Well, can't prove it. But whoever did it, that's God. And whatever their qualities are, those are the qualities of God. And if you go, well, these qualities are contradictory, and these qualities don't matter, and these qualities don't fit, and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Case in point, Jews get mad at me for this. Jews get really mad at me for this. There is no rational reason to believe God loves you and wants you to be happy. None. Absolutely none. There's no evidence of this anywhere. But the alternative is terrible, isn't it? Isn't it fucking horrible to think that God doesn't love you and doesn't want you to be happy? Like, what kind of God is it if he doesn't care? I don't see any reason to believe he does. My best mental image of God has always been somebody who's just standing up there watching us go, they did what? Very interesting. What the fuck are they doing? They said what? Damn, that's fucking crazy, man. I have reasons to believe this, but they're fucking weird and they're fucking nuts. And I know that. Having actual beliefs in a religious context is crazy. It's irrational. It's unreasonable. You can't have rational, reasonable beliefs about God and about religion and about the afterlife and about this stuff. And it's fucking nuts. It's crazy to have firm beliefs on any of this stuff because rationality and reason demand that you do not have firm beliefs, that your beliefs are at best tentative. I'm convinced. I am absolutely 100% convinced in what I believe. If I can't convince you, you would have to have the experiences I've had. You ever run into somebody online? You run into somebody online and they'll be like, have you read the Federalist Papers? And you say, no, I haven't, because nobody in their right fucking mind has read the Federalist Papers. I've read the Federalist Papers. And I'll tell you what, if you're thinking about reading the Federalist Papers, just fucking don't. Just don't. It's not worth it. People are always like, you should read the Federalist Papers. Well, I have read the Federalist Papers. Well, what do you have to say about this? That's bullshit. Well, you clearly don't understand. But you always run into these people that are like, I cannot talk to you about this unless you have read this book or watched this video or taken this class. These are people that know this was their moment. They know that they walked into this moment of their lives not believing a thing. And they walked out of their lives out of that moment in their lives believing it. And they go, this is the thing. This is the thing that happened. That was the final straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And your previous beliefs collapsed under their weight. The fact is, it's not the last thing that did the job. It's an innumerable collection of things going back into your history that did the job. I would not be Jewish today if it were not for experiences that I had in church and in Sunday school and talking to priests and talking to ministers and talking to Sunday school teachers and just generally searching for some sense of meaning until I finally talked to a rabbi. And and every time I had gone to a religious figure before and I had said, hey, I don't think this makes any sense. They went, well, you're stupid. And it does make sense. And here's why it makes sense. Now shut up and go home and think about why it makes sense. But I talked to a rabbi and I said, I don't think this makes sense. And he said, I don't think that makes sense either. Excuse me? I don't think that makes sense either. Like, what would have to be true for that to make sense? Like, what would have to have happened for that to make sense? If that made sense, what would that imply? And we had like a real conversation where he just like, he took all of my objections seriously and he treated them like they came from a thinking, feeling person who really cared about the answers. And he told me how he felt, and he said, this rabbi felt like this, and that rabbi felt like that, and I don't think either of them is really correct. I mean, I kind of lean this direction, but I also kind of lean that direction. So personally, I think it's kind of like this, but what do you think? Nobody ever did that with me before. Nobody ever asked me what I thought. before. Nobody ever told me, we argue about this and we're not sure, and we still haven't reached a 100% consensus or conclusion on it. And that mattered to me. That mattered a lot to me, because Christianity felt like a cult. Catholicism felt like a cult. Islam felt like a cult. Judaism felt like science. It felt like they wanted to know the truth and they were looking for it. And everybody else is like, the truth is here. Shut the fuck up and take it. So that's why I'm Jewish now. I have been Jewish for almost 40 years. I have been Jewish way longer than I have not been Jewish. And I'm still not circumcised. It is... all of this is just train of thought stuff. I know none of it has anything to do with game dev. I know none of it has anything to do with economics and labor, but it very much has many things to do with humanity and with who we are as people and why we believe the things that we believe and why we act the way that we act. I think a lot of people believe in God because they want to believe somebody's going to give them a prize at the end of their life. I don't believe you get a prize at the end of your life. I don't think that's how it works. I think some people are religious because they want to believe that people who do bad are going to be punished. But they're not. Judaism believes that more strongly than anything. We don't actually have a concept of hell. The closest thing we have to the concept of hell is being cut off from among your people. That's hell for us, is to be cut off from among the people, to be exiled, to not be with your people. And I don't believe it happens to whole people. I think people are compositional beings of discrete phenomena. But I am fucking weird. My degree is in occult science. Rudolf Steiner is a fucking lunatic, but he did have some fairly compelling concepts that I think aren't just compatible with Judaism, but are actually part and parcel of the belief system. It's telling that we say belief system. We have a system of belief. We have a series of pieces and parts that go together to make that belief. And if one of those parts is pulled out, the system can't function. It begins to malfunction. It begins to collapse. It begins to dysfunction. I'm like this about 3 times a year. I'm like this on Tisha B'Av. I'm like this on Yom Kippur. I'm like this on Shavuos. Shavuos is a little bit less depressing because I'm not thinking about bad shit. I'm just thinking about shit in general. I don't know what it's going to do to my algorithmic positioning, my watch hours, my view count. I don't know what's going to happen to all of those things, none of which are especially good, don't get me wrong. I don't know what's going to happen to those when I just sit for half a fucking hour and be unapologetically Jewish in front of the camera. Because I don't typically do that. I don't typically sit here and just be Jewish at you for the whole fucking video. But today is a day that I am supposed to think about things. And as a moderately observant Jew, I do think about them. I don't even think Tisha B'Av is necessarily a great holiday. If I remember correctly, Tisha B'Av is supposed to be a major fast day, and here I am drinking. I shouldn't be doing this if it's a fast day, which I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. Yom Kippur is a major fast day, but I don't do the fasting thing. And the reason I don't do the fasting thing is that the rabbis said fasting is how you afflict your soul. You afflict your soul by not eating. No, I afflict my soul in a much, much worse fashion. I afflict my soul by legitimately thinking and feeling the things that I am supposed to think and feel. And I am mightily afflicted by them. I think that's what that means. I think when it says you need to afflict your soul on Yom Kippur and on Tisha B'Av, when you are supposed to afflict your soul on these days, it means you are supposed to think so deeply and seriously about these things that it goes all the way down to the core of your being. And I don't know. I guess for some people, the core of their being is whether they get to eat. And if they have to be hungry for a while, that afflicts their soul. I do so much worse to myself than be hungry. I agonize over questions that other people don't find particularly difficult, like, I can't talk about any of the things. They're all political. I try to stay away from the political on here. I mean, I am unapologetically woke, okay? If you have a problem with trans rights or gay rights or women's rights or black rights, if you have a problem with immigrants, get the fuck off my channel. You're not welcome here. That fucking simple. I'm not going to chase you away, but as I have done several times in the past, if you post transphobic, homophobic, racist, misogynist shit on my channel, I will hide you from the channel forever, and I will not feel bad about it. Nobody will ever see another thing you post, and I don't fucking care. I don't even respond to those things anymore. It's just, I have the same counterproductive desire everybody does, to get the last word, to say the thing, to hit them with a zinger and go, oh yeah, they're going to feel so bad when I say the thing. They are not. Sometimes I still say the thing if I think, man, the people who agree with me are going to go, fuck yeah, when they see that. But if it's not entertaining for the audience, I just hide or block. I don't even bother with mute. I like the block button. I really, really like the block button. When I started using the block button liberally and quickly, it really did make a difference. El Hammer du Ban. You don't have to put up with arseholes in this world. It's like people talk about cyberbullying, cyberstalking. Block them. Just fucking block them. The number of people who are unhinged enough to cyberstalk you and also self-controlled enough not to comment from their cyberstalking account, teeny fucking tiny. Just really. We live in a world where it is easy to connect with the people you want to connect with. And most of the people that you want to connect with are people that agree with you, and people that like you, and people that want the same things that you want, people that believe the same things you believe, people that like the same things you like. But it's exciting and engaging to go places that people believe the opposite of what you do, and want the opposite, and like the opposite. It gets you all keyed up. It gets you all fired up. There's an intensity to it, and I love intensity. I really fucking love intensity. But if you love intensity, that's what the BDSM community is for. Go get somebody to tie you up and beat you. Okay? That's what that's for. Go do that. Don't go into communities of people on the internet and tell them they're wrong and you hate them. They will tell you nasty things, and they will insult you, and they will make you feel alive. But you know what? You're better off just going and finding yourself a good dominatrix. It's better for you. Still not good, necessarily. I hired a dominatrix after my first marriage. Oh, TMI warning. I was very upset with myself after my first marriage because my first wife communicated to me. She said, the problem is that you are unable to resist temptation, that your dick controls your thoughts, that when you think somebody will be nice for your dick, you think they'll be nice for you as a person, and you cannot resist chasing after them. And I thought, well, maybe she's right. And I went to a professional dominatrix, Mistress Kitten, a woman that I met on the Power Exchange. Not very helpful, I know. The Power Exchange, I think, is down now. And there are 8 million dominatrices named Mistress Kitten. I don't know her real name, but regardless, I hired her because because the play parties that I had been to, there was a guy named Imp that I was really into. I was not out at this time, so Imp and I never did anything. I had not come out to myself at this point. That is fucking wild to think about. It is fucking wild to think about. There was a time in my life as an adult, as a grown fucking man, that I had not admitted my own sexual desires to myself. And in retrospect, it was because of my friend Loxley. Not his real name. His name on the board. He knows who he is. I'm not going to out him because way more repressed than me. I used to flirt with Imp because I thought it was fun, because I was toying with the concept. I was playing with the idea. Do I like guys? Do I really actually like guys? I know I like girls. I've known I like girls since I was 9. But guys, do I really like guys? I've suspected I like guys since I was I don't know, 14? 14, I think, was the first time that I almost was with a guy and went, no, I can't do this. I could have. I feel bad about it. I do. I very much feel bad about it. The details of that are creepy. But my friends used to call me the fagnet. We would go out someplace, and just gradually over the course of the evening, every gay man in whatever place we went to would make his way over to me just to kind of poke around and go, my gaydar's going off about you. Are you? I mean, you're not acting like it. You don't look like it. But yeah, are you? No, I'm not into that. I don't want to. The 90s were fucking crazy, man. The 80s were fucking crazy. And as we went into the 90s, I think it was I don't want to go there. Not right now. We're 45 minutes in, and I'm fucking drunk. This is literally right here, this glass that I'm holding in my hand, this is 9 ounces of gin and rum. That's all it is, gin and rum. So that's what you're looking at. There's no mixer, there's no soda, there's no tonic, none of this is diluted. This is just straight up fucking liquor. I stopped buying Captain Morgan. Just to completely go off topic, I stopped buying Captain Morgan because Captain Morgan is now 70 fucking proof. 70. That's a fucking liqueur. What the hell is your problem? Anyway, try to backtrack. What's I talking about? I don't fucking remember. I was getting to something. There was a thing that I was trying to get to. I was still not out at that point. Imp! Imp, yes. I liked Imp. If I met Imp again today, we would do things that he wanted to do when I met him back then, but that I was not ready to admit I also wanted to do. Because my friend Loxley was not a jackass. He was homophobic, but not a jackass. He was very much a straight guys over here, gay guys over here kind of person. I didn't want to fuck Loxley, but I would have. He was cute. He's very cute. Man, he has a lot more to do with my type than I realized at the time. Oh, geez. But so fucking repressed. Oh my God, that man was repressed. He was so incredibly, unbelievably repressed. I made this joke one time that he was going to go home and jack off over something. And he said, I only get to that point every 4 or 5 months. I'm sorry, you only jack off 2 or 3 times a year? Is that what you're telling? You only jack off 2 or 3 times a year? Fucking hell, I'm lucky to keep it to 500. That is way more information than I should give you about my masturbation habits, and you should forget it immediately. Anyway. Loxley was the kind of guy who, if you were gay, he would not be your friend anymore. Even if you were bi, he wouldn't be your friend anymore. And Loxley was my best friend. He's my closest friend. I spent all my time with him. He knew more about me than anybody else. I was in a much deeper mental health situation then than I am now. Largely because the state of mental health treatment is still fucked up. I'm still a devotee of Anthony Shaz. Is it Anthony? I know it's Shaz. SZASZ. There's a point in my life where I realized we say Zed not because Z is a problem, but because when you say Z, they know you're not saying C. It's a communications issue. Z is an objectively superior pronunciation. Do you know why we say Z instead of Z in the United States? For the song. We say it so it rhymes. QRS, TUV, WX, Y, and Z doesn't rhyme. So they made it Z so it would rhyme. That was smart. It was smart that they did that because it meant more children could remember the song because it rhymed and it fit their preconceptions about how songs should go and whether things should rhyme. But at the same time, Z is an objectively superior pronunciation because it cannot be confused with C. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Or my Zed Talk, as it may be. God, this is a fucked up video. But it's a good one. It's a good video. It's fucked up, but it's also good. I don't know how to explain that. This is one of the reasons that I'm Jewish. When I think deeply about things on Jewish holidays, when I think deeply about the subject of Jewish holidays, on Jewish holidays, they lead me to things that are meaningful in the long term. I'm known on many occasions to be a slightly wild drunk and to get very into posting music videos and whatnot, but I'm also a very philosophical drunk. That's why I get into the music videos. The music is philosophical to me. I'm an 80s kid. I'm sorry. A 70s and 80s kid, which means I came in like at the end of the 60s, and I'm a huge fucking Alice Cooper fan, and that's like way philosophical. People don't know that about Alice Cooper. You need to go back to like the early Alice Cooper. You need to go back to Easy Action and Pretty's For You and just like, oh. You need to listen to Fields of Regret. Like, really listen. Not just to the lyrics, not just to the words. You need to listen to the music. You need to let the music resonate with your soul. It's very important. I got my first Alice Cooper album because I didn't know he was a guy. I thought he was hot. I mean, his name was Alice. And then I had to pretend when my dad told me that was a guy. This is going to be a very long video. I'm remembering a bit from an old Alice Cooper album. I'm fairly sure it was Pretty's For You. You are the only censor. If you don't like what I say, you can turn me off. We are at almost an hour, and I am almost done with my drink. I think I'm going to keep going. I think I am going to make another drink. I think I am going to make a slightly different drink. I think I am going to get more creative. And I think I'm going to keep going. There is more to the story of the dominatrix I hired after my first marriage. And you are going to have to wait. Well, you're actually not, because I'm going to finish this. And I'm going to go make another drink. And I'll be back in a moment. And the pause will be almost instant for you. Boom! There it is. Oh, fuck yeah. Need to let the ice melt, cool it down, chill it. Chilling. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. The time I hired a dominatrix after my divorce. Anyway, there was this guy named Imp on the Power Exchange BBS back over on the East Coast, in the Maryland area. I had been to a play party. I've been to multiple play parties, and Mistress Kitten was working with Imp, and Imp had his personal issues to work out. I think a lot of people don't understand this, but a professional dominatrix is a kind of therapist. Imp was working through some issues. In retrospect, I think Imp was transgender. I think Imp was a transgender woman who was still trying to process the idea of not liking being a man. I think that's where he was. And I say he because when I knew him, he was very much a he. He was very much a he, went by he, him pronouns. We weren't really doing the pronoun things at the time because it was like 1995, 96. It was like 30 years ago. Anyway, he was dealing with his shit. And Mistress Kitten was both very considerate of his boundaries and very aggressive about pushing him in the direction he wanted to go. That's what I wanted. So I hired her. And I don't know, how much detail do you guys want about... I'm not going to get a response to this. How much detail do you guys want about, like, how we dealt with the problem of I like fucking too much? I mean, that was the problem I was trying to... I like fucking too much. I'm way too interested in fucking. I enjoy fucking, and I should not enjoy fucking this much. I should not be this consumed by the idea of I could be fucking right now. I don't know how much detail you want about what we did to deal with that. Jump in the comments and let me know if you have watched this far, which for God's sake, I hope you haven't. Anyway, I employed this young lady, this dominatrix, for about 18 months at a cost of about $2,000 a month, roughly. They're not cheap, and they shouldn't be. But in the end, it's fascinating because they figure out what the problem really is. The problem, what Mistress Kitten figured out was, I was very distressed at the fact that my body would physically respond to things that even moderately aroused me. So, fuck it, I'm just going to tell you what we did. I'm just going to tell you. You don't need to leave a comment. You could just like go, okay, that's the thing that they did. You probably don't know what a Kali's teeth bracelet is. The KTB isn't manufactured anymore. The guy who made them stopped making them. And he stopped making them because he couldn't keep up with the people who wanted them. Okay, if you are at all sensitive about if you have any issues at all with cock and ball torture, you probably want to stop watching about now. If you just don't want to see what I'm talking about, then I will let you know when I'm done talking about it. I'm going to show a picture of this thing. It is a thing that you lock onto your penis. If you don't want to see the thing you lock onto your penis to make you not want to get erections anymore, you probably want to stop watching around now. And I'm going to show this thing. And yeah, I think I've given enough warning at this point for everybody to pretty much know whether they want to see this or not. So I'm going to show it now. Okay? 3, 2, 1. This is the Kali's teeth bracelet. Yeah, this is, you are probably really unprepared for just how much you bleed if you should happen to get an erection in one of these things. It's fairly horrifying. So I'm going to take it off screen now if you're looking away because this is not a thing you can handle. I'm going to take it away now. So you don't have to look at that anymore. I'm not going to show it to you anymore. It's okay. You're safe now. You don't have to look at that thing. Mistress Kitten provided me with a Kali's teeth bracelet. Provided. I had to pay for it. I had to pay extra for it. She was like, there's a guy who can make a thing that can help you. It's $480. And give me $480 to buy it. Yes, mistress. Here's the money. That's how femdom works. They tell you what to do and you fucking do it. That's the deal. So she got me this thing. And she also got me, I don't have a picture of the actual thing we use, but I have a picture. I can probably find a picture of a similar thing. It was, it's similar to this, but it's not exactly this. These are way tamer than what Mistress Kitten used. I'm pretty sure they were custom made, but this should be less triggering if you're if you are concerned about a thing you might put on your dick. This should be way less triggering. This should be less of an issue, okay? But these on my ankles. We put these on my ankles. And having applied these on my ankles and and the other on, where it applies. I was placed in a room alone, in the darkness, with a television screen. And that television screen showed porn. Specifically, porn designed for the things I liked. And the important thing is, number one, given the spiked shackles around my ankles, and the ones Mistress Kitten had were worse. They were much more aggressive. I couldn't sit on my heels. I had to hold myself in a sort of half squat position. And given the Collie's teeth bracelet, I was incentivized not to get an erection. 'Cause it hurt a lot. Oh my. I cannot communicate. Look, if you looked away when I showed it, that's fine. But if you've seen it and I say, oh my God, I cannot even tell you how much that hurt, you're probably going, yeah, that would hurt. That would fucking hurt. You still don't understand. And the shocking thing about the KTB is the way it was built. It's kind of fucking amazing. It was so sharp. It was so sharp. It was so well manufactured. It was such a good piece of work. You can't tell. Like, it left zero scars. The damage it inflicted was painful, but not structurally meaningful. So I don't even have visible scars from it. I still have the KTB. It's a very real thing that exists. I still have it in the other room. Yeah, it's a thing. But there's no evidence left on the body, which is, God, that's so impressive. It's just like, even if you don't agree with the concept, you have to say, if you make something like that and it doesn't leave marks, oh, bravo! Great fucking job. But yeah, I had to sit in a room in a half squat wearing the Collie's teeth bracelet. And it's pitch black, and the only thing you can look at, the only thing you can see is the porn. And you learn to look at things that are really sexy, that are really hot, that really turn you on, and not physically respond. This is externally valuable. You can show me porn all day and I will sit there and watch it and go, yes, pornography. And my junk will not move. absolutely not move. Nothing will happen. You can show me the hottest, sexiest porn in the world. Nothing. Nothing will happen. Because I've trained for that. And, you know, in retrospect, I also train with that in the sense of, I do. Let me grab a thing real quick. Ah, fuck. Where is it? God damn it. It's in here somewhere. I've been doing it daily is the problem. Yeah, whatever the fuck. Yeah. I do Shaolin iron bone training. And iron bone training is where you take a bundle of steel rods and you beat the shit out of your elbows and forearms and knees and shins. And the idea is, these are your striking surfaces. You beat the shit out of them first thing in the morning every day. And I haven't been doing it daily for a while, but I do have the shit somewhere. But the thing is, if you beat the shit out of yourself, you stop caring if somebody beats the shit out of you. It doesn't stop hurting. Okay? The porn never stops being hot. It never stops being sexy. You never stop going, oh yeah, I'd hit that. But there's no external manifestation of that. Just like with iron bone training, it's like you hit somebody with your elbow, and it's not that it doesn't hurt. It's that you don't care. Oh, it hurts, but it hurts every morning. The fuck do I care if it hurts? I don't give a shit if it hurts. It's the same with, I got a beam out in the other room that I punch 100 times a day. It's solid fucking wood. And I punch it full force. It's not that it doesn't hurt. It's that I just don't care if it hurts anymore. Which is the same thing as not hurting, funnily enough. Anyway. I feel like there's a thing I was trying to get to with that, but I don't remember what it was. You can inoculate yourself against pain. You can inoculate yourself against feeling what it is that you feel. On the outside. I can punch solid wood 100 times and not care. I can watch the most arousing porn on the planet and not care. But I've just deadened an emotional side of myself. I've taken a part of myself that used to feel, and I've made it not feel anymore. And I wonder if that makes me not human. And I look at the Israel-Palestine situation and I wonder, have I looked at enough inhuman behavior in this conflict that I can't have a human response anymore? Have I become an alien in my late 50s? I don't know. I really, honestly don't know. But it's been a very long time since I played Starfield. Since July 17th, I've played almost 20 games. Is it 20? 6, 12, 18, more than 20. 22. I've played 22 other games since the last time I played Starfield. And I'm very frustrated because, and this is going to sound incredibly fucking stupid and simpy and awful, because I miss Wongla. I miss her. I haven't seen her in a very, very long time. She's not even real. She's not even a person. She barely has. She has the most basic fucking description and existence possible. She's on my screen all day, every day. I keep her as my wallpaper constantly. I change it every so often because, well, because I keep taking new pictures of her. I keep choosing different views on the same person. The modern world is so incredibly fucked up. I can't remember the last time I met a real person in real life. that was important, that was as important to me as this fake person, this NPC with fucking 12 lines in a video game. It's the blank spaces. All the blank spaces in Wangla can be filled in with whatever I want, because nothing will ever be filled in to contradict them. I can place whatever I want in there. Her history can be whatever the fuck I make up. That's so much less convenient than a real human being with a real human history that is what it is. We don't even need AI. The garbage farting computer machine can be whatever you want it to be. It can say whatever you want it to say. It can pretend to be whatever human being you wish it was. Why would you swipe right on anyone? They might be lying. They might tell you the wrong thing. I'm not even one to talk. I don't do dating apps. Every time I've tried to do dating apps, my bullshit detector has just lost its shit. Everyone's a liar. Everyone lies. You know what I miss? Everybody's going to complain to no end about this, but you know what? When I go on a first date with someone in their early 20s, somebody who's like 22 or 23 years old, somebody who has just gotten their bachelor's, or they're just about to get their bachelor's, somebody who's young, they want to know, what music do you listen to? What shows do you watch? What excites you? What interests you? What matters to you? Who are you as a person? And every time I go out with someone in their late 20s, somebody who's 27, 28, okay, mostly 28, or 30, or 34, it's, what kind of car do you drive? Where do you live? What do you do for work? Very frustrating. And I understand where they're coming from. I understand why realistically, nobody wants to be with a guy like me. Nobody wants to be with a guy who's caring for his elderly parents. Depending on the time of year, 20 to 40% of my life is devoted to maintaining my parents' lifestyle. We're getting to the end of the 20% of the year, and we're reaching the 40% of the year. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. Except my parents. They don't want that. They need that. And I care about that. So I'm here for it. It's very... I've noticed a pattern. It's very, very frustrating that the time of the year when my parents need the most support is the time of the year when I have the most energy to do shit. But I don't get to use it on my video games and the shit that I'm trying to build to make money and shit. I have to use it on caring for them. I have to use it on the shit they can't do, on mowing the lawn and collecting the apples and trimming back the blackberries. I could use it to make money. I could use it to build shit. I could use it to make cash money for me. Or I could use it to take care of them. Who are you, fundamentally? Do you believe in a society where the elderly are cared for, where the elderly are taken care of, where the work they cannot do is done for them? Or do you believe in a world where the young get to do what they want, and when they get old, fuck them, they can die? I'm in my late 50s. Obviously, I am biased. There is a direction I want your decision to go. But you can also see me. You can see me making the same decision and doing the work that needs to be done. I fear for the future of our species. I feel like we are going to go extinct because we are stupid and make bad decisions. right at this moment, I have to pee. And I am not so disgusting a human being as to use a water bottle at my desktop. And if you are, you need to reconsider your fucking life. Pull it up, step it in, let me begin, cut under the chin, fresh out the loony bin. You don't want me to act up, punks better back up, swing my axe, everybody gets hacked up. Get up, stand up, everybody stand up, everybody can't control the feeling. I'm too drunk to rap. Oh my God, that's fucking awful. How drunk do you have to be before you can't fucking rap? Oh my God. Can't control the feeling? Hey, come a wig peeling? I can chop a hater up even though I'm drunk. Yo, stab him in the eye and then put the trunk in. Freak show funkin', bodies in the trunk and pull a drive-by on the cops in the Dunkin' Donut. Shot my hat to go chop. Guts hit the floor, I'm losing it and I won't stop. I came here to clown. Let's get lunatic and jump around. Yeah, boy, for all those that didn't understand, Terminator X. To the edge of panic. Look that shit up. Hey, yo. One of the problems with humanity as a species is we tend, if we are normal, if we are human, if we have empathy, to imagine that every negative outcome we have experienced is our fault. Sometimes this is true. Sometimes. I used to think, this is going back to the old stuff, if you have been here long enough to see this, you're a fucking trooper. Give yourself a thumbs up in the comments. Say, fuck yeah. Here's the thing. I used to think that getting an erection meant I had to do something. That was my body telling me something has to be done. It's not. Erections come out of nowhere. They have nothing to do with anything. They're ridiculous. They're absurd. When you get an erection, it doesn't actually have a meaning. I didn't used to know that. So I hired somebody, Mr. Sketton from the Power Exchange, to teach me erections are bad and you shouldn't have them. That's not a good thing to be taught. I was kind of fucking stupid to think that was a need to be thought, that you need to be taught. But I paid somebody to teach me that because that's what I believe. Teach me the thing that I already believe, I said, and handed her thousands of dollars. And she said, okay. That was entirely my fault. That was entirely my problem. It was not her problem. It was not her fault. She taught me what she taught me because I told her to teach me the thing. I was wrong. I was so fucking wrong. You should be turned on by the things that turn you on. You should get an erection when you're turned on by the things that turn you on. But being turned on by a thing doesn't give you any rights. Doesn't mean anything from another person. You know what hurts me more than anything else is, and this is just me. This doesn't need to be you. You can feel however you want. But for me personally, I am deeply upset at the idea that there are people who wanted to fuck me. And I would have liked to fuck them. But I didn't. Because of dogmatic, fundamental religious horseshit. My friend Jim convinced me when I was about 15. He was either about to turn 20 or he was just close. He was just after turning 20. He like right around his 20th birthday. I was 14. And we were in bed together. And I was looking at him. And he was looking at me. And I knew he wanted me. And I said, I can't. I'm sorry I can't because of my religion, because of my religious beliefs. And he said, okay. Jim was the one providing the role model. Me saying I can't because of my religious beliefs, that wasn't the role model. That's not your role. That's not what you need to do. That's not the thing that's hard. Jim saying okay and stopping. That's the role model. Now, I know there are a lot of people who will go, it's sick and gross and disgusting that Jim would have fucked a 14-year-old in the first place. But as the 14-year-old, I wanted to fuck Jim. I wanted to, but society said I shouldn't. Society said I was not allowed to. Society said if I fuck Jim, Jim is in trouble. Jim is on a sex offender list. Jim can never get a job anywhere doing anything. I don't think society has reckoned with me empathizing with Jim. And to be clear, I never fucked Jim. But I did want to. I always wanted to. I never stopped wanting to. And I never did. And fundamentally, I think I should have fucked him. I think he deserved for me to fuck him. I think he deserved to get what he wanted. How long has it been? Holy shit, an hour and a half? Fucking hell. Should I tell the other story? Should I tell... I'm gonna go and see if I have the picture. I think it was named Jindam. Fucking hell. Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah, please, please. By all means, show me pictures of Huang Le. Images. What the fuck? Where is it? Oh, no. Home. Archive. Images. Home. Archive. Images. No. Where? Home. Archive. Images. Here it is. Open JPEG. It should come up. Yes. Clip Studio Paint. Okay. People are going to be mad at me for this, but I need to talk about it. It's important. This. There's a genetic issue that causes people to look like this. So when I was 13, 14, somewhere around there, I was in the back of the school. I was smoking some weed next to the dumpster, and there was a girl who looked like this, who was wandering back and forth. I didn't care. I was smoking weed. I was fucking high. And she walked over to me and she said, "Do you want to fuck me?" Yeah. At this point in my life, I was not a virgin, but I had only ever fucked people that had been provided for me to fuck. This is a deep and complex situation that I would need to explain in much more detail. But this woman, a woman who looked like this, said, "Do you want to fuck me?" Yeah? Forget the me part. Do you want to fuck? Yeah? So we went behind the equipment shed and we fucked. And when a woman walks up to you and says, "Do you want to fuck?" You think you're important to her. You think you matter to her. So I went up to her later, away, when she was with her friends. I went up to her later and I was like, "Hi, how you doing?" And she didn't want to talk to me. She over a substantial period of time, I managed to uncover what the problem was. And the problem was, I was a loser who smoked weed out by the dumpsters. And she was horny and wanted to fuck the captain of some sports team. And the captain of that sports team told her one day, he said, "Meet me behind the school by the dumpsters during this period, and I'll fuck you." And she wanted to fuck that guy. So she agreed to meet that guy. And then he went and he told all the other guys on the sports team, he's like, "Yeah, ha, ha, ha. I'm going to fuck that chick behind the girl at the gym behind the time. I'm going to fuck her because she's a loser and she agreed to let me fuck her." And all the guys at the gym were like, "That girl? You're going to fuck that girl? Because she's a fucking loser. Nobody would fuck that loser unless she's you." So he didn't show up. I didn't know what was going on. I was hanging out. I was by the dumpster because I wanted to smoke weed. That's all I ever wanted to do was smoke weed. When I first discovered weed was my fucking life. I never wanted to do anything that wasn't smoking weed because it was so fucking good. And I was smoking weed behind the gym, and this girl was pacing back and forth, waiting for the guy that was supposed to come back and fuck her. And he didn't come. He never showed up. And she really, really wanted to fuck. So she came to me and she said, "Do you want to fuck me?" Yeah, I did. I did want to fuck her. So I did. Not because I could, not because she was disabled, because she was ugly, because she looked like a butt. And anybody could fuck her because she wanted to fuck and she would have fucked anybody. I fucked her because I had spent my whole life wanting to fuck. And nobody had ever said, "Do you want to fuck?" So I did. And to this day, I really want to, you know what? I really want to put this out there. It's not, I can say it's not a fetish, but it doesn't matter if I say it's not a fetish. Everybody's going to think it is. Everybody's going to believe it is. Fundamentally, what it really comes down to is she wanted to fuck me. Nobody ever in my life wanted to fuck me. This girl, this thing, the thing that's going on with her, I know it's a genetic problem. I know it's probably inbreeding. I know it's technically a disability, but this is the only girl that ever wanted to fuck me. Well, not the only girl. I mean, there have been other girls, but this is the first girl that wanted to fuck me. And I love her. And I'll never stop loving her. I'll never stop loving girls who like her. She wanted me before anybody else wanted me. And in the end, well, she didn't love me. She just wanted me. She just wanted my dick. She wanted dick. That's all she wanted was dick. But that's okay. That's fine. I don't mind. You can... That's okay with me. I will never stop thinking women who look like this, and I'm going to show you, like, literally. This. Women who look like this. That's the woman who took my virginity. That's the woman who said, please fuck me. I want you to fuck me. That's not the only kind of woman who's ever said that, but it's the first woman who ever said that, and it's never going to stop being meaningful to me. It's never going to stop being important to me. And I love her. I love that girl. I love that girl who said that. And I'm never going to stop loving her.